It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Monday morning live, large and in charge, bringing forth all the feel-good on your feel-good breakfast Express on SABC3 Tech News Talk time right now. And recently, if you haven't yet heard, a tender notice was published by the South African Reserve Bank looking to test the feasibility of digital currency. Now, the primary aim is to investigate whether or not it is possible for digital currency issued by the central bank, whether that could be used as electronic legal tender. And this all sounds very confusing, very exciting, and somebody's probably going to grab an image of what I've just said and say, Graham and Katlego are investing in Bitcoin and they're rich.
It's already happened, dude.
We're not. But Bryan Smith is here to explain what this all means and why we are in constant pursuit of this digital currency worldwide. And we said earlier on that it is kind of what we understand Bitcoin to be in terms of the technological sense of it all. But why is the central bank looking to do this?
So that's a good question, and the interesting answer is that the Reserve Bank's actually been experimenting with blockchain technology and a blockchain-based currency for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons, there are a number of huge advantages to adopting a digital currency, and that doesn't necessarily have to replace or undermine a physical currency such as the rand.
Okay.
For a number of different reasons therein. For example, digital currencies are that much faster to transfer. There's far less risk of delay in transfer time, and that being said, costs to settle transfers as well as to transact, let's say, at a pay point are that much lower simply because of the speed and efficiency of the system. Most notes or denominations in digital currencies as well are inherently traceable, and that means that there's far less likelihood of fraud occurring, and it's that much easier to trace individual payments in a system.
Wow. Surely we're not the first to be attempting this. I mean, you know, the crypto has been around for a while, and you would expect other reserve banks to be considering this from their own kind of national. Where are we on the curve? Surely have we not learned from other countries applying this?
We're actually quite far away ahead on the curve. There are a number of different countries that have introduced their own blockchain-based currency. For example, the sovereign comes to mind. However, there are very few countries around the world that have actually taken the step to consider whether they can implement a digital currency that works in parallel with their traditional currency, being, the South African rand in our case.
Yeah. So what would this mean? I mean, you say we're far along, so the likelihood of implementation probably imminent.
Would we all then need to get into crypto?
Let's talk about that. How far are we in terms of implementation?
So that's a good question. So at the moment, we're purely at a research stage, and there's a number of different considerations that need to be made, in the sense that we need to ensure that a digital currency doesn't necessarily undermine our physical currency,
yes,
and it needs to work in concert. One of the really interesting items outlined in that paper by the Reserve Bank is that any digital currency would have to work in complete concert with the rand, and it would need to be swappable on a one-to-one basis. What I mean by that is any digital currency introduced by the Reserve Bank would be tradable one-to-one, so 1 unit per 1 rand in the future.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're not even talking about a possible rand digital currency. It could be something else. It could be called what would you call it?
I like Madibucks or Randell.
The Madibucks. What? Bryan Smith on the money.
It just sounds like at some point everything's going to be the same. Everything is going to be the same, whether it's physical or digital or otherwise.
Wow.
I want some Madibucks. I want them in
That is awesome.
my virtual bank account right now.
I want to apply for the tender. That's all I want. Bryan, thanks a lot,
Get to the
man.
back of the queue.
Yeah, listen, let us know which stories have caught your attention from the world of technology. And most importantly, with regards to this topic, let us know, how do you feel about a digitalized currency?
Does that mean so instead of doing this, you've got to click? You've got to click. That's when you can't go like it. You're like click, click, click.